And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, for another vlog episode of Mike's Peace Corps blog. I noticed last time that the volume had a few problems, but I wasn't able to fix it. I think I have fixed it. We'll see at the end of this whether or not it's able to work. I don't know if it was an uploading problem or a recording problem, but I think it was a recording problem. So that should be fixed. If it was that. If it's an uploading issue, I don't know what to do. Significant events. Well, we've had a few since then, since the last one. At the top of the list, it was Nicaraguan Independence Day just yesterday. Independence from William Walker, American-born white dictator. Ran the show down here for a long time, and they outed him in September 15th. I can't remember the exact date, but I believe it was the early 20th century. I couldn't tell you exactly. I just totally spaced on that. Oh well. But let's see. I was expecting there to be a little bit of anti-American sentimentism. I mean, being the fact that there's only 3 pasties down here in La Paz, and it was about freeing themselves from an American dictator. But actually, no. There was really. Hang on. Yeah, that's really common. Cars, motorcycles. There's just one guy riding a motorcycle just around. I can't stand this bastard. But what I was saying about anti-American sentimentism is there's none. It's really non-existent down here. As a matter of fact, actually, I think I met more people and was introduced to more people that day than all the rest of the days of my trip here combined. Let's see. Yeah, it was pretty crazy, actually. I mean, I would say, oh man, I'm really thirsty, and this stranger standing right next to me that I've been just chatting with, she'd run inside her house, go grab a glass of water, and bring it out. I'm like, damn. So there was some pretty awesome stuff going on. Felt very much part of the community. Just going out there, watching all the bands. There's a million bands. There's the primary school band, the secondary school band. I believe there's the church band, and then there's a fourth one that I couldn't identify. What I did notice, they didn't have any horns or reeds. It was all percussion. But what I said in my blog, that if you can read that, that what they lack in tone, they make up for in rhythm. It's some pretty amazing stuff. I mean, they put most American high school percussion sections to shame, in my opinion. Especially with just their ability to dance as they're marching down the street. I thought that was pretty amazing. Watching these girls with something that looks like a cheese grater and a whisk doing this weird dance march. It was pretty crazy all the way around. There are only about 5 or 6 streets here in La Paz. They went up and down each one of them. So yeah, that was pretty amazing. After all the big parades here in La Paz, me and a few family members jumped on a bus to go to Tepe, which is about 15 minutes west of here. And that was the first time I've ever seen, something that was a little bit what we consider like the characteristic nice, easygoing Nicaraguan lifestyle. We went to Tepe, which is a bigger city, a lot more poverty, a lot grungier. Went there. It looked like they were the band that was playing might have been a college band, or maybe like, I don't know. They seemed too old to be in high school. But apparently there's this weird thing that the whole crowd was doing. Literally, probably about, I'd say upwards of 500 people on this one street. And there's this band in the center, and these girls are all swirling these long batons around, and the whole crowd is trying to push the front row of people into the band. Or at least that's what it felt like, and I was pretty close to the front row, so I was getting pushed along with them. And the next thing I know, one of the band members' batons hit somebody in the crowd, and just like that, this turned into small riot, really. There was actually quite a bunch of fists flying. The whole band just kind of just stopped. The crowd got even tighter around them, and I had little Nanda with me, little Fernanda, and she's about a quarter of my size. So I just reached around her, grabbed her, and just pulled our way up out of the crowd and away from the action. And then just magically the band gets all back together, back in line, back in formation, and they just keep on going down the road. So I was like, I don't know what just happened, but it wasn't very friendly. Hopefully I'll find out in the future exactly what happened. But that was just yesterday. Before that, we've been observing classes in the local high school, or institute as they're called down here, which can be everything from 12 years old to 25 years old. It's the closest equivalent to high school there is. I'd have to say that their Spanish classes are not very good. Mostly copy the board, repeat after me, learn the words to the song. Very little focus on comprehension. Very little, if any, use of materials other than the whiteboard for the classroom. And the kids have no textbooks as home references. If they want to reference something, they have to go all the way to the library to do it, which for some of these kids is actually quite a trek. So, not too excited about that. However, that means there's only up from here. That's what happens when you're at the lowest of the low. One thing that I will say is going to be hard to overcome is the kids get stage fright, or whatever you want to call it, for they don't want to stand up and participate in front of the whole class and things like that. That's going to be really hard to do in a language class, because people have to participate in order to learn a language. At least that's my philosophy. Well, that's about all I have in me for this one episode, and I'm about out of time for what YouTube requirements are. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this and go out and have some more adventures, and see you guys again next week. Later.